This video will explain MatPlotLib, a Python library used for data visualization. You will learn how to create different types of graphs such as line charts, bar charts, scatter plots, pie charts, and histograms. We will start by importing the library, then move on to defining data using X and Y values, and step-by-step build each chart. You will also see how to customize your plots by adding titles, labels, colors, markers, and styles to make your visualizations more clear and professional. By the end of this video, you will be able to create, customize, and display charts, and even save them as image files for your projects. Let's begin exploring MatPlotLib. The first step is to import the necessary plotting package. MatPlotLib provides an interface for creating a wide variety of graphs and charts in Python. Let's create a line chart step by step using MatPlotLib. First, you need to define your data by setting up the X values and Y values that you want to visualize. These values represent the points that will be plotted on the graph. Next, use MatPlotLib to create the actual line plot by passing in your data, which will connect the points and form a continuous line on the chart. After that, enhance your visualization by adding axis labels so the x-axis and y-axis are clearly described, and include a meaningful title that explains what the chart represents. This helps make the graph more readable and informative for anyone viewing it. Finally, display the chart on the screen so you can see the complete visualization and interpret the relationship between your data points. Let's customize a line chart using MatPlotLib. First, define your X and Y data values that you want to plot. Then create the line chart and apply styling options to improve its appearance. You can set the line color to red, choose a line style such as a dash or solid pattern, use circular markers, to highlight each data point, and adjust the line width to 2 for better visibility. After plotting the data, add a meaningful title to describe the chart clearly. Finally, display the chart using the show function so the complete customized visualization appears on the screen. Let's create a bar chart using MatPlotLib. First, define your data by setting up a list of subjects and their corresponding scores. These values will be used to build a chart, where the subjects will appear on the x-axis and the scores on the y-axis. Next, use MatPlotLib to create a bar chart by passing in the subjects and scores as input data. To make the visualization more appealing, set the bar color to sky blue. After that, add a clear and meaningful title to describe what the chart represents. Then, label the x-axis as subjects and the y-axis as scores so the chart is easy to understand. Finally, display the chart using the show function, and you will see a complete bar chart visualization on the screen. Let's create a scatter plot using MatPlotLib. First, define your X and Y data values, which represent the points you want to plot on the graph. Each pair of X and Y values will form a single point on the chart. Next, use MatPlotLib's scatter function to create the plot by passing in your X and Y data. To make the visualization more appealing, set the color of the points to purple. You can also adjust other style options if needed, but keeping it simple helps focus on the data. After plotting the points, add a title to describe the scatter plot clearly, along with labels for the x-axis and y-axis so the chart is easy to interpret. Finally, display the chart using the show function to view the complete visualization. Let's create a pie chart using MatPlotLib in Python. First, define your data by creating a list of sizes that represent the proportion of each category. In this example, we will use programming languages such as Python, Java, and C++, and assign each one a value in the sizes list. Next, create a labels list that contains the names of these categories, so each section of the pie chart is clearly identified. Now, use MatPlotLib's pie function to generate the chart by passing in the sizes and labels as arguments. This will automatically divide the circle into proportional sections based on your data. To make the chart more readable, you can also adjust formatting options such as showing percentages on each slice. Finally, display the chart using the show function. The output will show a pie chart with Python, Java, and C++ clearly labeled and sized according to their values, giving you a simple visual comparison of the data. Let's create a histogram using MatPlotLib. First, define your data set, which contains the values you want to analyze and visualize. A histogram helps you understand how data is distributed across different ranges. Next, use MatPlotLib's histogram function and pass in your data along with the number of bins, which in this case is set to 5. This divides the data into 5 intervals for easier analysis. To improve the appearance of the chart, set the bar color to orange so it stands out clearly. After that, add a meaningful title to describe what the histogram represents, helping viewers quickly understand the purpose of the visualization. Finally, display the chart using the show function to see the complete histogram on the screen. Let's create a plot using MatPlotLib with 2 data lines and add styling features like a legend and grid. First, define your data by setting up the X values along with 2 corresponding datasets, Y1 and Y2. These will be used to compare 2 different trends on the same graph. Next, use MatPlotLib's plot function to draw the first line using X and Y1, and give it a label such as squares. Then plot the second line using X and Y2, and label it as linear. These labels are important because they will later appear in the legend to help distinguish between the 2 lines. After plotting the data, enhance the visualization by adding a legend using the legend function. This will clearly identify each line based on its label. Then enable the grid using the grid function, which makes it easier to read values from the chart and improves overall clarity. Finally, add a title to describe the graph, and display the complete visualization using the show function. The result is a well-structured plot comparing squares and linear data with clear labels, a legend, and a grid for better readability. Let's create and save a chart using MatPlotLib. First, define your data by setting up the X and Y values that you want to visualize. Then use MatPlotLib's plot function to draw the graph based on this data. You can customize the chart if needed by adding labels or a title to make it more clear and meaningful. Once the chart is ready, the next step is to save it to your computer. Use the savefig function and provide a file name, such as myChartPNG. This will export the chart as an image file in your working directory, allowing you to use it later in reports or presentations. Finally, display the chart using the show function so you can view it on the screen as well as have it saved as an image file for future use. To access the saved file, start by opening the File folder or File Explorer located on the side panel of your workspace. This panel contains all the files that have been created, uploaded, or saved during your work session. Once the File Explorer is open, carefully scan through the list of files and locate the image file named myChartPNG. After you find it, click on the file name to open it. This will display the saved chart image, allowing you to verify that the plot was created and saved correctly. You can zoom in to inspect details such as lines, labels, and formatting to ensure everything appears as expected. If you need to use the file elsewhere, you can download it directly from the File panel or move it into another folder for better organization. You may also rename it or replace it by saving a new version if needed. This process ensures you can easily manage and access your generated chart anytime. This video explains MatPlotLib, which is a Python library used for creating different types of data visualizations. With MatPlotLib, you can easily plot line charts, bar charts, scatter plots, pie charts, and histograms to better understand your data. You explored how to start by importing the library, then how to define your data using X and Y values, and how to create basic plots step by step. You will also see how to customize your charts by adding titles, labels, colors, and styles to make them more clear and visually appealing. You learned how to generate and display professional-looking graphs, and even save them as image files for reports, presentations, or projects.